What's up guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to create a trading bot using MQL5, using the MetaTrader 5 programming language. It's very easy and I'm going to show you this in only one video. So this video is going to be longer than usual. So what do we have to do first? First, we have to go to the MetaTrader 5 application. So here we have to open the text editor of MetaTrader 5, which is here. And you click here and it opens. But before this, let's talk about what we are going to do. So we are going to do a very basic bot that uses two moving average, one of 15 periods and the other one of 9 periods. If the shorter one crosses the other moving average from above, like here, we have to open a cell. So for example, here we would open a cell and that's it. But if we do it in the other way, so the shorter one comes from below, we have to open a buy. So for example, here we open a buy. So yeah, in order to build this, we have to open the text editor as we did before, and now we have to click here on new and say that we are going to use a new expert advisor. So we click on next, we put here a name, for example, MAs, and we don't click anything here. So as you can see, you have this here, you can remove all these comments. And basically what we need is these two functions, the onInit function and the onTick function. So these functions are like events. So whenever we open the bot, whenever the bot is open, the first thing that is going to do is to call this function, this onInit function. Then after this, on every change of the price, what the bot is going to do is to use the onTick function. So yeah, first of all, what we need to do is to load the indicators. And how do we load the indicators? We need to have handlers for those indicators. So for example, here we are going to create global variables for storing those handlers. Here we declared two global variables that store those two handlers. So we are going to put here this age, so we know that this is for handlers. So now we have to link these handlers to the indicators. So how do we do that? First, we have to use the functions of the indicators. And which one is the function for linking the moving average to our program, to our bot? This one is called IMA. This function links this handler with the moving average. But for example, here we may not know which arguments does the moving average function need. We use F1, and with F1 you can see here that we have a menu in which we have all the information we need. So for example, here we are going to search for EMA, and you can see here that we have everything we need. So the first argument is the symbol in which we are going to operate. So for example, here we could put EUR/USD. But if we want to make the bot able to work with every market, what we can do is that we can simply put this. With this, we say that, hey, if we put it in the EUR/GBP chart, it is going to work in this market. If we put it in the EUR/USD, it is going to work in this market. So this basically means that it is going to use the symbol of the current chart. Another thing that we have to add is the period, like the period in which we are going to work. And what I mean with period is, for example, if we are going to work in the 5-minute chart, in the 10-minute chart, in the 15-minute chart, in the 30-minute chart, so on. So again, we can set this to the one we are currently using. So we just need to put this. If we put this, now the bot is going to use the time period set in the chart. So the next argument is the MA period. So for example, we can initialize the 15 period MA, and we just have to simply put here a 15. We don't have any shift. Then the method refers to which kind of moving average we are going to use. So for example, are we going to use an exponential one? Are we going to use a simple one? Are we going to use a smooth one? We are going to use a simple one. So here we put mode SMA. We are telling the program to use the simple moving average. Then we have to say on what we want to compute the value of the moving average. We want to compute it with the close price of each candle. So here we just have to put price close. So if you want to check this in the chart, you can just click, do right click in the indicator, and you can see that, for example, this one has 15 periods, doesn't have shift, the method is simple, and it is applied to the close, and the style, well, this doesn't matter, but this is the information that we just put it in the bot. So what this function returns is the handler for this indicator that we just created. So now we are going to use the variable that we declared before, and we have the handler for this specific moving average. We can do the same. We can do the same for the other one, but we just have to change the number. So for example, here we can change this for 9 and put here a 9. If we want that this second moving average is an exponential one, we just simply have to put mode EMA. Okay, so now that we have the handlers, we can start taking values. For that, we have to do that in the onTick function. Why here? Because we just want to do that whenever the price changes. So on every change of the file, we want to load the value of the indicators. For that, we have to use the copy buffer function. And what this function needs is, first it needs, well, we don't know what it needs. So for example, we have to open this and put here copy buffer. We look for the function, we click here, and well, everything is explained, but here we have what we need in order to copy the values of the indicator. So first we need the indicator handle. So here now we have to set the buffer num, and this is quite strange because here we just have to put a 0 because this indicator just has one value. For example, if we use an indicator that has more than one value, we have, for example, the MACD that has the MACD value and the signal value. The 0, for example, can be for the MACD and the 1 can be for the signal. So this is just for indicators that use more than one value. In case that we have just one value, we just have to put here a 0. Then the next thing that we have to put is the starting position in which we want the data to be taken. So for example, here we can say just a 0. And remember that this value is constantly changing, is going to be taken on every change. So for our program, we don't want that value that is constantly changing until the price closes. No, we want the ones that are already closed. So for that, we put here a 1. And we don't use the constantly changing one, which is the actual one. Then we have to say here how many values do we want to. So then we want to store 3 values, and yeah, that's it. Then we have to say where do we want to store those values, and we have to create an array for this. So here what we can do is that we can say double. One thing is that all these values are usually stored in double arrays, so you have to use the type double. So we use double and we say, for example, MA15 array. We don't set any fixed size, and we create another one for the 9 period, and we don't set any size. And for example, here that we are using the 15 one, we just have to put MA15 array, and that's it. Now we can do the same for the next one, and we just have to simply change the 15 for a 9. And that's basically it. We are just loading the values of the indicators. So we can test this. For example, we can put here print, and then we can just say M15 array, take the last value, and here the same N9 array, and take the last value. We are going to put a space between so it is more clear, and what we can do now is that we can compile the program. So if we press here compile, we see that we don't have any errors. The errors would have appeared down here, and now if we go back to the MetaTrader and for example we use this for the 30-minute chart in the EURUSD, how do we put the bot to work here? We just simply have to go here, take the bot that we created in Expert Advisors. So we go here, we click on it, and we take it to the chart. And now this bot is working here. You can see that by this small logo. If we press here to diary, we have the messages of the bot shown here. So for example, here we should have some messages, but we don't have anything because it is Sunday and yeah, the markets are closed. But we can do another thing to check if this is working. We can go to the tester of strategies. I don't know how it is called in English. And basically here we can press, for example, this bot, then set the market. For example, we want this one and we want to use the M13, like 30-minute chart. And we can set a date, like for example, we are going to make this short and we are just going to make it for a few months or something like that. Yeah, so for example, from July to the current date, to the 17th, which was Friday. So now here you go down, like you move this down and you click here, which is like a visual representation of the bot. So if we click here and now we click start, you can see how the bot works. First, one thing is that now it's going very fast, and in order to make it go slower, you just have to click here and move this here. So for example, now if we press diary, we have the messages that we wanted to have. So these are the values that are stored in the bot. So basically you can check the values and you can see that they are pretty similar. Like you cannot check here exactly how much it is, but it's the same. So if we go back here, we can remove this print value, and now it comes our imagination on how do we solve problems. So now the problem that we want to solve is that we want that whenever they cross, we want to open a buy or a sell position. So how do we do that? We just have the values copied, and what we can do is that if, for example, this is going to be the conditions for a buy. If the previous value of the 9 moving average is below the other 15 moving average, what we have to do, so here we say that it's below, and then if we continue and these values change, it means that the 9 moving average, which was down here, moved and crossed on top of the 15 moving average. So we can just simply copy this and change this sign. So for example, now we have set that, but here instead of 1 we have to put 0. Another thing you have to know is that the way this copies the values is that 0 would be the most recent one, 1 would be the less recent one, 2, 3, and so on. So here we have to open a trade. And how do we open a trade? We have to import one library, which is this one. So yeah, if we include this library, now we can create an object which will allow us to open trades. This object is a seed trade object, and now we can open trades. So for example, now we have to use this object and say trade buy, and we open a buy position, but this buy I think is with capital letters, yeah. So here now, let me put this like this. We have to put several arguments. The first one is the lotage. So for example, we want to use 0.01, Then we have to use the symbol in which we are going to open a position, and this symbol is the current one. We are going to put this. The next one is the current price in which we are going to open a buy. We will leave this for later, but yeah, I'm going to put ask, and later I will explain why. Then we have to put the stop loss. So for example, we are going to say that the stop loss is going to be 20 points under the current price. So remember that ask is going to be the current price, and we say that this is going to be 20 points, which is like this. We take the point value of the current chart by calling this variable, and yeah, now we have to put the take profit. And for example, we are going to do that this take profit is 60 points above the price. So yeah, I think we have to put another thing, and it's the comment, but we don't want to put any comment on the trade. So yeah, now we have opened a buy trade, but we want to do that as well. We want to create also sell trade. So basically we can copy all this, and we can put here else if, and now copy. But we have to change several things. Like in sales, this is the 15 periods simple moving average, and this is the 9 period moving average. So whenever it crosses down, we have to open a sell. So for that, we just have to change these signs, and that's it. Now, if we compile, we have several errors, and is that I haven't declared this value, and also I haven't explained you that when you open buys, you have to take into account the ask value of the chart. So here we can create this double ask, and in order to create to obtain that value, you just use this function. So for example, we declare ask as a double, and we use this function in order to take the ask value of the price. So now we do the same for the cells, but in the cells it's different. We have to we have to obtain the bid value. So for that, we copy this, and here instead of ask, we have to put bid. So first of all, we are going to change the name of this bid, and here instead of symbol ask, we have to put symbol bid. Then we go down here, and here instead of a buy is a sell, and yeah, we change bid, and it's a sell, so the stop loss is above. We put a plus here, we change this for bid, and the stop loss is below. And now if we compile, we don't have any errors, and we can check if the bot works. So for example, we can click here again to start, and whenever there's a cross, we are going to open a position. But there's a problem, which is that we are going to open a position on each tick. So for example, here we are going to have a cross. It looks like that. Yeah, we are almost having a cross. Yeah, a cross. So yeah, I think I've done something wrong, and I don't know why I'm not getting a cross. But yeah, okay, it's now. Now is the time in which we are getting the crosses, and you can see here that on every price change of the chart, we are opening a position. Also, I'm checking that we are opening sales. No, we are opening buys, and here we should have opened sells. So yeah, we have to change that, and we also have to change that we don't open all those operations. So first of all, in order to not allow the program to open one operation when there's already an operation, we have to store the ticket of the operation. So we are going to declare a variable here, which is type ulong, and we are going to call it trade ticket. So here is where we are going to store the ticket of the trade. And now we set here another condition, which is going to be that the trade ticket is less or equal than 0, basically that there's no trade ticket, we are not going to open a position. Only whenever there's not a ticket, a trade, we are only going to open a position in that case. But we also have to reset this value because otherwise we are only going to open one position. Then in order to reset this, there's a function. There's this function which is called position select by ticket, and we put here the trade ticket, and it checks if there's a ticket or not, if there's an operation open or not. So if there's not an operation open, we can say here ticket, well, trade ticket, and we can put this to 0 again, so we allow the program to open a position when there's not a position opened. So if we compile and we go here and check again if it works, if we make this go a little bit more fast, yeah, we are almost at the same point that we were before, and after this one we open a position, and you can see that we are still opening a lot of positions. So I think that maybe I just didn't compile the program. So let me try again. The function trade buy and the function trade sell, those functions do not return the ticket of the trade. In order to get the ticket of the trade, you have to use the trade result order. So for example, I was using this new function. What we can do this in the same way as we were doing this before, and we can say that if the position select by ticket says to us that, hey, given this ticket, I don't have anything open, like there's no operation going on, we can say that if trade ticket is less or equal than 0, then we are going to open an operation, and that's it. So this means that whenever there's an open operation, we are not going to open another one. And yeah, I have some mistakes. I have to remove this. I have to also remove this. And yeah, now it compiles. And if we go back here and check, let's see, yeah, now it looks that it's doing what we want. Like, yeah, there's still a lot of operations here, but this is because in the same candle, it can happen that the operation gets closed. So then we are going to open another one because the condition says to us that we can open another one. Here, for example, it took more time to close this operation, and it took enough time so the condition is no longer fulfilled. For example, we can do another thing is that, hey, even if we open an operation, we want that in order to open another one, there has to be some time passed. In order to do that, we have another event function, which is called on timer. Yeah, this one. So this one doesn't have any arguments, and we can say that on argument, one variable that we are going to create, which is time passed, is going to be equal to true, and we can declare this function here, which is time passed equal to true at the beginning. But anytime we create a trade, we can say that this value is going to be false. And when do we reset this value? In the on timer function that we just created. Like, you can check that down, that's the only place in which we reset the value to true. Another thing is that we want to call this timer, and in order to do that, we have to set a timer, and for that we call the event set timer, and we say the time. So for example, let's say that, yeah, we are using the 30-minute chart, so after we have to give this in seconds, 5 candles, we are going to open another position. So yeah, we put this here also, and now we are going to only open one position. So if we go here and check, we can see that, yeah, and why is it that? Because I didn't put the condition here. I have to say that the time passed has to be true. So now that the time passed is equal also to true, we can compile and try to execute this again. And we can see that on every cross we just have just one. And also if there are crosses, if the crosses are very close to each other, you can see that yeah, maybe the second one is not going to be executed. So now, yeah, everything is working as expected. And another cool feature of this is that you can check if this strategy is giving you money. So for that, you open this, and here you can see that the balance of our account is slowly going down. So yeah, this is not giving us any money. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you understood how to create a bot with MQL5. You check that it's very easy, and yeah, you can do a lot of things like checking if if your strategy is okay and so on. But yeah, if you like that, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Don't forget to go and check my website in which I talk about trading and cryptocurrencies and all that stuff for a very cheap price.
Damn, Sosa. You going crazy.
Rest in peace, Big Pop, quédate tranquilo, 666. Estoy bajando todo, lo siento, te quedas en no. Rest in peace,